Hi, welcome to Magpie Moonchild. This is a full moon in Aquarius read for Virgo. It's going to be a general read, so if it doesn't resonate, please leave it with peace and love. And maybe try another aspect of your birth chart. I'll put a link to the birth chart down below. Sometimes it's your sun, your moon, your rising sign. If you want to know your rising sign, you'll probably need your time of birth. So please, if you know your time of birth, put that in, because it changed my whole outlook once I did my birth chart recently. What else? Responsibility. Basically, do not ever give up your free will to a tarot reading. You have the choice to make decisions and take actions as a fully fledged adult. Basically, if you if I say something on here, give advice within this reading that the cards are telling me, the energies within it are telling me, that is your choice to take them or not. Also, energies within a reading are fluid, they're not set in stone. So choices you made may affect the outcomes if there is an outcome that comes through. What else is there? The card deck that I'm using is the Modern Witch Tarot deck by Lisa Sterle. What else? Anything else is down below. Roles can be reversed. Genders are fluid. If I say he and it's relating to a she, that's fine. It's just about the energies within the card that I'm reading. Masculine and feminine energy, we have both within us. So don't think if I say she and you're a man, or if I say, oh, you tap into your female energy and you go, I'm a man. We have both within us. We have the softer nurturing side, and we have the driving force, masculine, conquering energy as well. So yeah, it's going to be a 3-card spread. The first card is going to be what is falling away from your life and what you need to forgive. The second is you need to take some time to rest as well at the moment, Virgo. What's being illuminated by the full moon? What is the full moon showing you? And then finally, what comes next? What's coming next between now and the new moon in Leo in a couple of weeks' time? Getting a cloggy throat, a sore throat. Look after yourself a little bit, Virgo. Make sure you take your vitamins. Drink plenty of water. Someone's got a cold and a sore throat because I didn't have a snotty cold a minute ago. And it's like snuffly cold and throat. Also, with a sore throat, it's your throat chakra, so maybe you need to have a look at realigning that. Some truths. Right, let's start this read. What's falling away for Virgo? What is falling away for Virgo? 7 of Pentacles. Currently, what do you need to forgive as well? Working away on something. Basically, a project that you've been working on doesn't seem to be gaining traction or getting the payoff that you thought it would. And you're now at a situation where you're like, do I let it go? The fact that it's come in the falling away situation would suggest maybe let it go. But there is bearing some fruit, so only you can really make that decision. I think what you need to forgive yourself is it's not been as fruitful as you thought it would be. That doesn't mean it hasn't been successful. If you look, you were obviously the 8 of coins is the payoff. But you've got 7. You've got like, what's that in percentages? I don't know. Quarters is 25, 75. So you've got like 87.5% success instead of the whole 100% that you were hoping for. But yeah, it's just, it hasn't paid off. You need to forgive yourself for it not being as successful as you thought it might be, Virgo. But that doesn't mean it hasn't been successful necessarily. It just means it's not been as successful as you thought. What's falling away may be your interest in the project at the moment, because you think it should be doing more than this. I should be getting more out of it than I am right now. It's just that lacklusterness of it. It is lackluster. Like you thought, oh, I thought it'd pay off more than that. It's successful, just not to the degree that you thought. So maybe you need to stop and have a look and think, well, why was I expecting more? If it's to do with a relationship, maybe what's falling away is your interest in it. Maybe you're not prepared to put any more effort into it anymore. And what do you need to forgive? That you did put the effort into that relationship and it didn't pay off to be what you thought it would be. So what is it you need to do at this situation? Is it reassess your levels of what you're willing to accept? Is it perhaps your perception is off a little bit? Maybe you need to stop expecting so much from someone. Or equally, is somebody not providing and stepping up like you think they should? In which case you need to make the next choice of what you do. But yeah, something's definitely lackluster, and you need to forgive yourself for thinking it would be more fruitful than it was. I think you were a little bit naive, didn't plan it out quite right. And you need to forgive yourself for that as well, actually. I think you're being quite harsh on yourself. I should have. But Virgo, honestly, it just didn't pan out exactly like you thought it would. And you're a perfectionist, and you need to stop being so overly critical and harsh and cutting and negatively constructive about things. You just need to be a little bit kinder to yourself. For what it is. Yeah, it's like you just literally had dreamt it up in your head it was going to be a certain way, and because it's not exactly what you thought it would be, that's it, it's a failure, and that's not the case. And you need to forgive yourself for using the word failure for a start. You're not a failure in any way, shape or means. Yeah, you just need to, it just didn't pan out to what you thought it would be. That's all, Virgo. That's what it was. What's being illuminated by the full moon? What is the full moon showing you, Virgo? What is it? There you go, that jumped. 5 of Cups. Focusing on loss and not appreciating what you do still have. There is a bridge over troubled waters, but you're so focused on the fact these cups are spilled over, you can't even focus on the fact that there is 2 there. If you turn around, you have not lost everything. Again, this is because it's not fruitful and you just see it as a failure, and it's not a failure. What is being illuminated is you still have plenty going for it. If this is about a relationship and this person, you feel like they've just not stepped up quite enough. I don't know, were you expecting romance and flowers, Virgo? I just, they're not quite what you imagined they would be. They're not that perfect, picture perfect person that you thought they would. They have flaws, and believe it or not, Virgo, you have flaws too, but the difference is they see your flaws and don't say the whole relationship's a failure. Whereas I think that's what you're doing a little bit here, Virgo. You're sort of going, well, they're not bringing me roses every week, or oh my god, he worked on when he said he'd take me to the cinema, or that's really trivial. But, and I think that's what it is. I think it's something trivial. And you're just going, well, it's not perfect, is it? Because he said he'd take me there and he hasn't. And it's like you're expecting perfection. And perfection isn't that. Well, it is there, but not the way you envisioned it. Because the 2 of Cups, if this is about a relationship, all you're mourning is what isn't quite right, Virgo. And what you're not seeing is this is the person you're supposed to be with. This is your equal. They are giving emotionally what you're putting in, but you're just focusing on what you haven't got. What you need to do is get into a mindset of gratitude for what they do. I think you're quite lucky, and I don't think you're quite appreciating that they are doing great things for you, with you. You need to cut them a little slack. And equally, if you're focusing on all the ways you're not worthy of them, because this could go the other way, that you're not worthy of them, stop focusing on what you're not doing and focusing on the fact that they love you. They love you, warts and all, to quote Oliver Cromwell. Warts and all. They love you for who you are. You do contribute the same as they do. There's not an imbalance of 3. There's 2 cups, and you each give your cup, and you do equally give into the relationship and receive from the relationship. So don't think there's an imbalance. If this is you focusing on you being the failure and you not being worthy, you are worthy. Let's have a look. So what is coming next between now and the new moon? Self-doubt. Oh, I just feel frustrated with you, Virgo. It's like you're trapped in your head. Anything less than perfection is not right, and you can't seem to deal with that, Virgo. It's like, this is how I pictured it. Why isn't it like it? Because life sometimes hands you something more beautiful than you could have imagined for yourself. More beautiful. You either think you're not worthy of it, or you are literally trapped in this mindset of, this isn't where I want to be, and I can't seem to get to where I want to be. It's not how I want it to be, and I can't seem to get it there. You're blind, and you've tied yourself up in knots. You've blinded yourself to any other possibility, and you've tied yourself up in knots about it, Virgo. And to be honest, I can't make you see it, but you need to open your eyes. You need to take the blindfold. You need to, first of all, get yourself out of knots. You need to calm yourself down and refocus a little bit. And then take the blindfold off and actually see the world as it is, not how you think it should be. How it's not matching up to your unrealistic expectations of perfection that you've either set for yourself or for the other person. But you need to take the blindfold off and see that life is, it is beautiful. Is beautiful. And then you need to wonder why perfection matters so much to you. You need to look within and see why it matters that much, that it has to be perfect. It has to be the fantasy. It has to be this dreamy, naive, picture perfect, storybook, fairy tale, film-like romantic relationship that doesn't exist in real life. There's a reason it's souped up and hyperactive, hypercolor, what's it they call it? Technicolor, bloody over amped up relationship of what romance is. Real life isn't like that. Real life is nitty gritty, and you find beauty in the most rough and rustic and rugged places. The person when you're down in your most ugly state, the person that picks you up when you are in your darkest hole and they just show a light, and that's it. Right, what is the card? The Moonology card. Just need to find beauty in the darkness, and I think you're focusing so much on what looks great in the light that you're not seeing what's in the, what's there when the cameras aren't on, that sort of, do you know what I mean? When you're at home and when there isn't everyone around, when you're not having an Instagram filter on everything, how do you function with your rough edges? How do your rough edges rub against each other? And I think you blend beautifully when it comes to that. Just because it's, I don't know, you just need to stop living in a daydream, thinking that it's going to be this daydreamy perfect thing, when really what you've got is more beautiful, because it's not that. I think that's what I'm trying to say, because it's not that. It's beautiful in its own way, not the way you think it should be in your head because of what you've been told by movies. Virgo, your hard work is paying off. If you've been working on yourself because you think you're not worthy of this person, you are worthy of this person, just so you know. Your hard work is paying off. So this is like going back to that Seven of Cups energy, where you think it's just not, it's not what I want it to be. It's not quite what I want it to be. You are getting a payoff. This is beautiful. It is producing fruit. It is brilliant. You're just not, it's just that 12.5% that is missing in your head, that you think is missing. It's not missing, you just think it's missing. Your hard work, what you're putting in, is paying off. You are investing in the right relationship. You are investing in the right thing, the right job. You are investing properly. You are doing it. It's just, you don't seem to be seeing it, Virgo. You have a fantasy ending that is never going to happen because it's a fantasy. It's not attainable. except in your imagination. And I know you say, oh, you can achieve anything if you believe it. That's fine. But we're dealing about a relationship, and the likelihood that it's going to attain that perfection is not likely. You have a beautiful relationship. You have a beautiful mutual meeting of minds and emotions and investment in each other. And it's like you're just expecting like an extra cherry, and an extra cherry just isn't, you can't just magic it. It has to grow, and there is still room for growth here. Do you want to have hit your peak in the very beginning? There is room for you to grow that 8th pentacle. Just stop saying it's not worth it because you haven't got that 8th pentacle yet. If you're waiting for a commitment, to happen, Virgo, it may come. It's not going to be in the next 2 weeks because it's not here for me to say that to you. But it is coming. You are growing together. You are putting the work in, and eventually the hard work together will pay off. Stop focusing on what isn't there. Stop focusing on what hasn't happened, and focus on what you do have, Virgo. I hope that's been helpful, Virgo. I'm really sorry. I don't always do cotton candy, sugar wrapped up. Sometimes you have to hear things. A tarot reading tells you what you need to know, not necessarily what you want to know. Anyway, I hope that's told you what you need to hear. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.